Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, so it's starting to dry out a little bit around here. We've gotten a couple rain showers today, but it has not been much. So the tomatoes and whatnot were starting to look a little wilty. And so today I have made it a priority to start to go back over the irrigation system. So that's what we're going to do a little walkthrough on today and how we've got it set up. And this is the best one that I have had so far. So share that with you. Okay, right here we've got two 5,000 gallon tank, or I'm sorry, two 2,500 gallon tanks. Comes out to 5,000. They are teed together at the bottom. Dogs have been laying here, so you can't really see much, but there's a T there and an elbow there. They're just connected together. 2-inch ball valve. Reducer down to a 1-inch garden hose adapter, so I can hook a hose right there, even when the pump's not there. That's just a 12-volt RV pump. There's a lithium battery in this box. Eventually, I might set up a solar charger here. I have not decided yet. 10 psi restrictor. So this pump might put out 60, but that valve there will restrict it down to 10 psi. That is what it looks like right there. Got a screen filter, goes through there, and then just a 1/2 inch line going along here. So that 1/2 inch line is going to go over to here. I had a broken T-post I drove in the ground, and I just zip tied my fittings there. Now here is where I will put my timer. Okay, it'll be kind of like this, but different. This one is a 1 outlet. I'm going to put a 4 zone here. And that way I'll be able to send water to each zone in the garden. And that 1/2 inch, that 1/2 inch line will be enough to supply each zone. So for now, I just got a splitter on here, and I've got things, they're just gravity feeding the drip line at the moment. Okay, so come along here, we split off our lines, making it look pretty. Come down here, and then we've got elbows where it will go down each row, and there are 5 beds to a row. Now those ones are all empty still, so we don't have, the water's not hooked up to them yet. These ones here, these beds are going to be like, this is my raspberry, blueberries, and then strawberries down there. So I do not have valves on each of these beds because they're all going to be getting pretty well the same amount of water. I'm not stressed over that. They're always going to be filled. So I'm not worried about shutting off one valve because a bed's empty. All right. But when you come up here, like this one is the eggplant. Eventually they'll get harvested. I may shut this bed off. So there's a valve, 1/2 inch valve right here. And we need to shut that off. And then I just did a round. I came up here to a 90. Then I went to a T. This is solid right here. And this is starting a 12-inch spacing emitter. And it is just gravity flowing from the tank right now. But you can see it's dripping. So I'm gonna see how this goes. What I may do is I may let this run like 12 hours a day. I might turn it on at night and turn it off in the morning and let it really soak in there. I don't know. I'm going to have to just watch things. It's going to depend on the heat and stuff like that too, but this is definitely helping. Some of the tomatoes were looking a little wilty, and they are already coming back. But I hooked up all of these today. My screw up has been that I waited too long to do this. So don't do that. I was able to salvage some stuff, right? So I didn't lose anything, but it was definitely looking a little bleak this morning. One of those things where it was like too much, not enough hours in the day kind of deal. So we're starting to put off tomatoes. Things are looking good. This cilantro that I started from seed has absolutely taken off. So this is the tallest cilantro I have ever had. So I'll be cutting some of that and putting it on the dehydrator, and we'll freeze some. That'll kind of get us through winter and whatnot. It's already starting to bolt. So, or I don't know if you call it bolting like lettuce or not, but it's starting to go to seed. We're starting to get some little heads on here. So I will let one of them go to seed just so that I can harvest them and have them for next year, because they did extremely well. Pretty little flowers, if you're into that sort of thing, and I am. So speaking of flowers, here's my marigolds that I planted from seed. And what I did on the corner of each of these is I put two, I don't know, stems, two plants in each corner. And I did not expect them to get so big, but I've never grown them before. So there's that. I also screwed up because I planted a lot of this way too close together. And you know what? Live and learn, right? So it's not like I'll have a shortage of the stuff. I just got a little excited with my planting. So it happens. But what I am doing now is we are hooking up I am hooking up drip line to each of these tubs. So what I did is I ran a 1/2 inch supply line, okay, all the way down, and then it comes back around. It will hook into the faucet there, or whatever you want to call it. But at each one, I am putting in an emitter, okay, which look like these right there. And if you have never done that before, I will show you. It's super simple. Let me get this camera adjusted, okay? Maybe something like that. And here's what you do. This is an emitter tool for punching a hole in the line. Reach down here, punch your hole in the line, just like that. Then you take your plug, well, your coupling here, and weasel that in there, and you're good to go. Now, from there, what I will do is I will come up the side of the bucket with a solid line. Let's see if we can find one here. I'll come up the side of the bucket with a solid line, which is this. Then I go to a T fitting, which is right there. And this is drip line. And that is going to sit on the top of each bucket like so. And then they will just drip. And this line will come down here and tee in to the main supply line, just like that. Okay, right there. And so each of these buckets will have a drip circle, if you will. And the reason you tee this is because if you ever pinch your line, okay, like let's say I pinch the line here, right? The water is still going to go around the other side and equalize. So you're still going to get a drip emission. Emission? You're going to get drip. You're going to get water flow. There you go. So if you tee in there, the water pressure is going both ways. All right. I'm going to show you one more trick while I'm doing this, how I'm assembling these. I am going to, let me set up this camera here. And yeah, we'll try that. Maybe I can do it without knocking the camera over. So I get kind of set up here. I've already measured. This is what I'm looking for. So I reach over here, pull out more drip line. This does not need to be scientific. We're just looking for close. Got a cutter here. You can do it with a razor blade too, but this ends up being a little quicker. I keep this little propane torch going. You're not looking for a lot of flame. If the air was more still, I could do it with a candle. I'm not looking for a lot because it will melt this line. Warm it up a little bit. Push this T in. on the other side through the flame there. Sometimes you got to hit it again. And you're just pushing these fittings together, just like I just got done showing you on one that was already assembled. So that's all there is to it. Then we'll go over and push that onto the main supply line. And I just get I get a stack of them going, then I go put those on and come back and do it all over again. All right, folks, if you found that helpful, please leave a like and a comment and share this with somebody who it could benefit. All right, guys, we'll see you all next time. Mountain Wizard out. See ya.